Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Decades by Joy Division. As always, the song comes as a request from one of my viewers. So if you want to request something, just, leave a comment. I'll be sure to add it to my list. In fact, this is probably one of the most requested Joy Division songs that I've received. So a lot of people seem to say that this one is definitely a good one to react to, a good song from the band. So I'm really excited to listen to it. So so far I've heard a few songs from Joy Division, and I think I've liked just about every song that I've heard from them. So looking forward to this one. Let's go ahead and get to it. Again, this is Decades by Joy Division. I've received so many requests for this one. I don't recall if anybody requested something specific, like a specific live performance or anything. So I'm just listening to like the normal studio version of it. So let's give it a shot.
Knocks on the doors of hell's darker chambers, pushed to the limit, we dragged ourselves in. Watch from the wings as the scenes were replaying. We saw ourselves now as we never had seen. Portrayal of the trauma and degeneration. The sorrows we suffered and never were free.
I really like that part right there. That was good.
Weary inside, now our hearts lost forever. Can't replace the fear or the thrill of the chase. These rituals showed up the door for our wanderings. Open then shut, then slammed in our face.
Yeah, I actually liked that a whole lot more than I thought I was going to at first. When the song really first kicked in, I was like, wow, I'm just not like feeling the groove yet. But then there was this transition and there was this different movement in the song right after I said like, oh, I really like that part. It was that second kind of movement of the song that I was like, wow, that sounded really good. And after that, it seemed a lot easier to really kind of catch the groove in my ears. So I like that one a whole lot. I'm very interested to wonder what he's talking about in the lyrics here, but instrumentally that one was really solid. I feel like they've given me some different sounds for just about every song I've listened to. I can't say that really two Joy Division songs I've listened to sound exactly the same. There are other bands like the Smiths, for example, where sometimes I'll get into like this funk where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm hearing the same thing from these guys over and over again. I feel like I've had that feeling with a couple bands at this point where it's like, all right, I need them to mix it up here. But for this band, I feel like, wow, I don't think I've really heard anything from them yet that I've been like, okay, that sounded just like this, or that these sound too similar for me. I'm not really into it. For me, so far, everything I've heard from them has been unique in some way. So really enjoyed this one. Very excited and ready to break it down further, of course, starting with the lyrics. So let's take a look here. It says, here are the young men, the weight on their shoulders. Here are the young men, well, where have they been? We knocked on the doors of hell's darker chamber, pushed to the limit, we dragged ourselves in, watched from the wings as the scenes were replaying. We saw ourselves now as we never had seen, portrayal of the trauma and degeneration, the sorrows we suffered and never were free. My first sort of instinct when I read these lyrics is war, here are the young men, the weight on their shoulders. Here are the young men. I think I might have said where the first time, sorry. Here are the young men, the weight on their shoulders. Here are the young men, well, where have they been? We knocked on the doors of hell's dark chamber. That to me, that sounds like war, like young men going to war. Let's see what Genius says about it. Oh, wow, I think I got it. This song is about the effects a war will have on the young men who are forced to fight it. Generally speaking, the majority of soldiers in historic wars have been young men, sometimes as young as 16, called upon by their leaders to risk their lives and commit horrible acts against their enemies, with the fate of their nation potentially depending on it. Now, of course, I take everything that Genius commenters say with a bit of a grain of salt, just because you never know where they're pulling their information from. So unless they have like a quote from the actual artist, I always kind of take it with a grain of salt, like I said. But yeah, that was definitely my first impression from this one as well. So where have they been? Where have they been? Weary inside, now our hearts lost forever, can't replace the fear or the thrill of the chase. Each ritual showed up to the door for our wanderings, opened then shut and slammed in our face. Let's see what it says about this one. In many cases, soldiers find it difficult to adjust to civilian life because of traumas, their innocence tarnished by the horrors they have witnessed. Many ex-servicemen from the 2 world wars were diagnosed with shell shock, what we now refer to as post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. In case of Ian, the sentiment is more general, one about growing up and getting disillusioned about life, and his growing depression as he got older. Yeah, we've come to realize that PTSD can go beyond the traumas of war and really apply to any sort of trauma that you feel in your life. PTSD can be a result of that. So, weary inside, now our hearts lost forever. Can't replace the fear or the thrill of the chase. Yeah, you hear stories all the time about, again, people coming home from war, and they just live with that fear, that where it comes up every now and then. And for some of them, it's sort of the thrill. They sort of miss, again, the thrill of the chase, as it says there. So I think it's pretty interesting. Where have they been? Where have they been? Yeah, I could definitely see how this song is about, again, the horrors of war and sort of surviving that. I feel like, though, it is open enough where you could really take your own interpretation from this. I think lines like, here are the young men, the weight on their shoulders, I think, to me, very clearly point to the horrors of past wars. But again, I still think it's kind of open-ended enough where it really could apply to a lot of different things in life. So I think in general, a lot of people look into Joy Division and see Ian Curtis's life, and they really read a lot into their lyrics based on what he went through in his life. And an artist writes what they know about. So I definitely feel like a lot of that can be true, but I also feel like this one again is up to your interpretation, I think, in a lot of ways. So lyrically, I thought it was very, very, very good here. A lot of really excellent, tight writing. I give it 2 thumbs up. I liked it a lot. As far as the instrumentation goes, like I said, I really didn't dig it at first. That very first sort of portion of the song, it was a little too kind of everywhere, all over the place for me. I was having trouble really finding the groove. But that second part of the song, where they mix it up a little bit, I was like, ooh, I'm liking this a whole lot. And then after that moment, the rest of the song was a lot easier to catch in the groove. And I feel like they did change things up a little bit. And honestly, this did not feel like, 6 minutes, something 6 plus minutes. Did not feel like 6 plus minutes, because I felt like they gave you enough transitions, enough different movements in the song that it was just really kind of kept you on your toes in a sense, but in a very good way. So as I was listening to this one too, I was like, man, shout out to the bass player. I feel like they really did a good job, again, establishing a really nice rhythm for the song, a really nice groove that was easy to listen to. And I feel like I've said that for a few Joy Division songs at this point, where I'm just really enjoying the bass. Okay, apparently there is actually some, let's see, the drummer Stephen Morris wrote about the song in an interview with GQ in 2020. It was originally called Europop, which it sounded absolutely nothing like. When it started, it had a bossa nova beat to it, which Martin Hannett, the producer, absolutely hated. It was probably about the same day we would have done The Eternal. We didn't have a drum machine at the time, so we hired one, and this Roland CR78. I'd never seen a drum machine before, and thought Martin would know how it worked. He's pressing buttons and it plays In the Air Tonight. All those classic drum machine beats. I said, well, it's not really that kind of song, Martin. And he said, no, we can program it. They can make it play wherever you want. I got detention stuck in this room trying to understand this manual. It was poorly translated from Japanese and it didn't make any sense. We got to the end of the manual and it said it only works with such and such, a foot switch, optional extra. So we got the optional extra foot switch and it still didn't work. I only realized this last year, 2019, 39 years after the release of Closer, because I saw one for sale in an auction that they sent us the wrong foot switch. That's funny. And The Air Tonight wasn't actually released until 1981, a year after the release of Closer. So it's possible that Morris is referring to something in a similar style to the Phil Collins classic, or he's confused it with another song. Interesting. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Little tidbit there. Maybe that's why I felt like it was very helter-skelter at first. I just felt like I couldn't catch the groove. And I think a part of that was that maybe that drum machine, I don't know, the drumming off on it kind of felt a little bit off. I think maybe that beat was what was kind of throwing me off. But like I said, the bass player, I don't see his name. Let's see, view all credits. Let's see if they mentioned. Oh, actually, yeah. The bass, Peter Hook, he did a great job on this one. Stephen Morris, I went to college, to high school with a guy with that name. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. I think this one really worked for me. I liked the synthesizer throughout. It really gave it like a creepy layer there. But like I said, the bass work I think was to me responsible for a lot of that groove that I really enjoyed. So, once I was able to catch the rhythm, I enjoyed it a whole lot. So to me, I was thinking, wow, this one is to me up there with instrumentally, it's up there with a lot of the Joy Division songs that I've heard, like as probably being one of my favorites. To me, I think Shadow Play is still my favorite. I don't know what it is about that song, that guitar just really catches me, but overall, I really like this one. I thought it was really good instrumentally, and then of course vocally, it really drives home that sort of creepiness with Ian Curtis on the vocals there, and with the delivery of those lyrics. I think the lyrics and the vocals really work well here. Together, they really make a cohesive vocal performance. So vocally, instrumentally, I got to give it 2 thumbs up. I like this one a whole lot. And then as far as replay value goes, I got to say, with that sort of creepiness to it, I don't know if this is a song that I play all the time, but I definitely think it has a place on my playlist, and I definitely want to hear it again. Like I said, there were a lot of really great pieces there instrumentally that I can see myself coming back for. Like the lyrics, I thought they were interesting, and then the vocal performance, like I said, was solid. Just a really nice groove, some nice transitions, kind of kept you moving from one piece of the music to another. So just an excellent work work here. I give it 2 thumbs up for replay value. Again, even though I give it 2 thumbs up, I'm probably not going to listen to it all the time. Again, just because of that more dark, sort of sinister, creepy tone that I feel like a lot of Joy Division songs have, and I'm just not always in the mood for that kind of thing. But I think it's such a great song that I'm definitely going to come back to it. So it's definitely going on the playlist. I like this one a whole lot. And I can't wait to hear more from this band. So, solid request, as always. If you guys want to give me some more requests, just let me know, leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to add it to my list. If you enjoyed the music as much as I did, of course, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And one place you should be able to find this song is going to be in my Spotify playlist. It's in the description below. It has every single song I've heard so far on my channel, as long as it's on Spotify. And of course, if you want to support me, just all the normal stuff you do on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. Alright guys, that's going to be it. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.